Okay, so I had this crazy idea. What if I tried to become a pro at something in just 7 days? It sounds impossible, right? I thought so too, but I love a good challenge. So I picked something I knew absolutely nothing about, juggling. I mean, I couldn't even toss one ball without dropping it. The goal was simple. Go from a total beginner, a complete noob, to someone who could actually juggle 3 balls without looking like I was fighting off a swarm of invisible bees. My hands felt clumsy, my brain felt confused. Day 1 was here, and I was ready to fail. A lot. My first attempt was, well, a disaster. I stood in my living room with 3 bright orange balls. I watched a tutorial video online. The person in the video made it look so easy. They were smiling. I was not smiling. I tossed one ball up. It hit the ceiling. I tossed another ball. It flew behind the couch. The third ball just fell right out of my hand. I spent the first hour just picking up balls from the floor. It was more of a workout for my back than for my hands. I started to wonder if I had made a huge mistake. This was going to be way harder than I thought. The feeling of being a total beginner is weird. It's a mix of excitement and a little bit of embarrassment. You know you're not good at it. Everyone can see you're not good at it. But there's also this tiny spark of hope. You think maybe, just maybe, I can get better. My brain was trying to understand the basic pattern. It's just a simple toss and catch repeated. But my hands were not listening. They had their own plan, which mostly involved throwing things in the wrong direction. I felt like a little kid learning to walk, falling over and over again. So, at the end of day 1, I had accomplished basically nothing. I could not juggle, not even for 2 seconds. But I did learn something important. I learned that starting something new is supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be awkward. That's part of the fun. I decided I wouldn't give up. I would just come back tomorrow and be ready to pick up the balls 100 more times. The challenge was officially on, and my floor was about to get very familiar with these juggling balls. The journey from noob to pro had begun, and the noob part was very, very real. Day 2 was all about the 1-ball toss. I forgot about using 3 balls. The internet told me to master one thing at a time. So, I practiced tossing 1 ball from my right hand to my left hand, over and over. It had to be a perfect arc, landing gently. At first, my throws were too high or too low, but after an hour, something clicked. I found a rhythm, right to left to right. It wasn't exciting, but I knew it was important. I learned that the foundation is everything. You can't build a house without a good solid floor, and you can't juggle without a good solid toss. On day 3, I finally added a 2nd ball. This felt like a huge step up. The pattern was toss, toss, catch, catch. My brain had to work a lot harder now. I tossed the first ball, and just as it reached its peak, I had to toss the second one. My hands got confused. Sometimes I threw both balls at the same time. Other times I forgot to throw the second one at all. But I learned a new trick. Say the action out loud. Toss, toss, catch, catch. It sounds silly, but it worked. It helped my brain and hands work together as a team. Day 4 was the big one. It was time for the 3rd ball. This is where it gets real. I was so nervous. I held 2 balls in my right hand and 1 in my left. The pattern I learned was toss, toss, toss. You just keep throwing. My first few attempts were pure chaos. Balls were flying everywhere. I hit myself in the face once, but then, for one glorious second, I did it. I completed 1 full cycle. 3 tosses, 3 catches. It was a miracle. The lesson of the day was to celebrate the small wins. That 1 second of success gave me the energy to keep going for hours. By day 5 and 6, I was focused on one thing, endurance. I could juggle for a few seconds, but then I would lose focus and drop everything. So I practiced just trying to go longer. I learned to relax my shoulders and breathe. When you're tense, you make more mistakes. I started juggling for 10 seconds, then 20, then a whole minute. I wasn't a pro, not even close, but I was juggling. I learned that practice isn't just about learning new moves. It's about making those moves smooth and natural, like you're not even thinking about them anymore. My journey was filled with so many mistakes, and some of them were pretty funny. On day 3, I was getting a little too confident with 2 balls. I decided to try juggling while walking from the living room to the kitchen. It was a very bad idea. I was so focused on the balls that I didn't see the rug. I tripped and the balls went flying. One landed in my dog's water bowl with a loud splash. My dog just looked at me, confused. I learned that maybe I should master juggling while standing still before I try to add walking to the mix. Another funny moment happened on day 4. I was trying so hard to get the 3-ball juggle right. I was in the zone. My roommate came home and, not wanting to disturb me, tried to sneak past. Just as he was behind me, I made a bad toss. A very bad toss. The ball flew backward right over my shoulder and hit him gently on the top of his head. We both froze for a second and then just burst out laughing. He said it was the most interesting hello he had ever received. My mistake taught me to always be aware of my surroundings, especially when throwing things. There were also moments of pure frustration. One afternoon, I just couldn't get it right. I dropped the balls over and over again for what felt like an hour straight. I got so annoyed that I threw one of the balls at the couch, not my proudest moment. But then I realized something important. Getting angry wasn't helping me. It was making me worse. So I took a break. I went outside for 10 minutes, drank some water, and came back with a clear head. The lesson was simple. It's okay to be frustrated, but it's important to know when to step away and reset. The biggest surprise was how much my brain felt like it was rewiring itself. At night, when I closed my eyes, I could see the colorful balls flying in perfect arcs. It was like the practice was continuing in my dreams. It was strange, but also very cool. It showed me how powerful our brains are when we focus on learning one thing. The mistakes and the funny moments weren't just side stories. They were part of the learning process. Each drop, each misplaced toss taught me something new about what not to do next time. So after 7 days, did I become a pro? No, not even close. Real pros can do amazing tricks, juggle 5 balls, or even juggle while riding a unicycle. I can't do any of that, but I did something that felt just as amazing. I went from someone who couldn't juggle at all to someone who could comfortably juggle 3 balls for over a minute without dropping them. I could even walk a little bit while doing it, as long as there were no rugs in the way. The feeling of progress was incredible. I had proof that I could learn something new if I just put in the time. Looking back, the change from day 1 to day 7 was huge. On the first day, my hands felt like they belonged to someone else. They were clumsy and uncoordinated. By the last day, they felt like my partners. We worked together. My brain knew the pattern, and my hands executed it without me having to think so hard. I felt more confident, not just in juggling, but in myself. It was a powerful reminder that we are all capable of learning and growing, no matter how old we are or how much of a beginner we feel at the start of the journey. If you want to try a 1-week challenge, my advice is simple. Just do it. Pick something you've always wanted to try. It could be learning a new song on the guitar, or cooking a new recipe every day, or even learning a few words in a new language. Don't worry about being perfect. You're going to be bad at it at first. That is the whole point. Embrace the feeling of being a beginner. Laugh at your mistakes. They are the best teachers you will ever have. Don't compare yourself to the experts you see online. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. The most important thing is to just start. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is right now. Break the skill down into tiny, tiny pieces. Master one small piece at a time. Celebrate every little victory, even if it's just 1 second of success. And remember to have fun with it. The goal isn't just to learn a new skill, it's to enjoy the process of learning. I started as a noob, and while I'm not a pro, I'm not a noob anymore, and that feels pretty epic. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some juggling to do.